what's going on? It is the Hometown Heroes podcast for Sunday, October 22nd, 2017. And I am your host, Joe Carl Abu Soccer. How you doing? I know I know I'm late. All right? I know it's actually Monday. I am a day late and $1 short because I don't get paid for this. All right? I don't get paid. So shut your dick hole and be happy that I brought it to you this week. All right? Me getting mad like there's people actually listening. Who am I yelling at? No one. Actually, it's pretty cool. On the Podbean app that I host all this through, I can see where the downloads are coming from. And it's pretty cool that I can, like, every week I can see a different state popping up because sorry, I got sniffles. I can see every week that a different state is popping up from where I tag the state or city or hometown that the episode's actually on. So welcome if you're still listening from Park Ridge, Illinois, or from Cut Bank, Montana. Are you happy? Are you coming back for more? Or are you just conceited and you only want to hear about your place? So fully, people talk about the elitism of New York and LA. Fucking Cut Bank, man. They think just because they had Liam Ham, Thor, just because they had that guy do a movie there, they didn't even do it there. They did it in fucking Toronto. Toronto. You want to hear something stupid? You want to hear how dumb of a person I am? Me and Laura, my wife, we went to go see Argo. Remember that movie, Argo? We went with Ben Affleck, who I guess is he a bad guy too now? I don't know. So I'm halfway followed on Twitter. I guess he did something bad at some point. I don't know. That whole movie, it was a good movie, and I remember there's a part in it where the whole point of the movie is like Americans are stuck in Iran during the uprising or whatever, and the CIA has to smuggle them out. So what they do is they like use some script or something. I don't know. It was a big jerk off to Hollywood movie, but the point is at some point the Americans have to act like they're Canadians, and so they're like going over their lines, what they need to say in order to convince the embassy that they're Canadians. And one of the chicks is like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Toronto," and Ben Affleck, the CIA guy, stops her and she's like, "Hey, no, you need to say it correctly. If you're actually from Canada, you don't pronounce the T." And this is how stupid I am. I look over at my wife and real smug light, because when I think I'm right, I know I'm right. I look over at her and I go, I don't think Canadians call it Oronto. I'm an idiot. It's the second T that they don't pronounce. Toronto. Didn't come to mind at all. I'm really stupid. I thought it was called Pepperidge Farm Mulatto Cookies for a long time. Up until a month ago. I thought the cookie came first. I thought that's why it was a racist term, is because people were calling people cookies. Oreos, people call. This isn't starting off well, guys. I'm sorry. So what's going on today? We have Bruce Gray on today. Bruce is a young up-and-coming comic. Hilarious. I saw him last night. Dude's lost 30 pounds. It's crazy. Bruce, if you're listening to this, wow, nice job. Doesn't have a car right now. I think it's one of those weight losses, right? Lose weight because you can't afford to eat, and can't afford to drive, so you're walking everywhere. Looks good. Poverty looks good on you, Bruce. Funny comic. I guess I'm not going to see an uptake in a new state today because Bruce is local to Southern California, but a part of Southern California that often gets it's the butt of a lot of jokes here in LA. And I gotta say, after doing some research, some of it's warranted, but a lot of it's not. Bakersfield, California, pretty cool spot. Well, let's not oversell it, Joe. Uh, not a bad spot, and a lot more interesting than I thought it'd be. You'll find out soon, but there's a whole genre of music that came out of there that I never would have thought. Um, I wouldn't have thought it was Bakersfield specifically that it came out of. Very similar to Cut Bank, it's a place that got its starts as a working town, oil. Um, so you'll see about that. Where are we at? 6 minutes? I know. Every week I'm gonna mention how many minutes I'm at in the intro. I'm obligated to make it to 10. And yeah. What else is going on? Anything in the news? Of course there is. The whole world's ending. Why wouldn't there be stuff in the news? Every fucking week. I can't keep up, man. Last week was the Harvey Weinstein stuff. I guess now they're pulling out every director that's ever done something scummy. Like, and I'm not like they should. They should like out all of them. I'm not saying like don't, but I don't even know who this last guy was that apparently had like 30 women come out against him. He like directed a few movies in the 80s, and he like looks obviously. What's his fucking name? Oh man, should have had it pulled up. But I mean, the whole thing. He looks like the old pickup artist type people wearing fucking fedoras and shit. And it's like, I mean, it seemed like everyone knew, and everyone was already. He seemed to already be kicked out of the business, right? But good, out all these fucking weirdos. I don't care. This is like the one thing, like vigilante. I hate it when people like do like the whole vigilante internet thing, where it's like, oh, we gotta fucking get these people out, blah blah blah. I hate it. 99% of the time, I hate it. If you're out here raping, come on, let's out them. But also, like I said last time, don't get mad at people who like didn't out them. All right, like. I saw people, you can't just go call someone a rapist without proof, right? Alright, so you'll get sued. So you don't fucking, like, get mad at Ashley Judd or whoever it was, Beckinsale, I don't know. Because she didn't, like, tell anyone about it. Or, like, try to out him, like, 15 years ago. It's like, dude, he's a millionaire. He's gonna fucking destroy you in court. You go just saying shit like that. Why? Why am I still insisting on talking about serious, not funny things before this podcast? What is wrong? What does this have to do with hometowns? Well, I don't know. But we're at, 8.5 minutes, so you tell me. Do you like the new intro music? Do you like that? It's actually, I just went on a free music website where you can just use any of the music, and I just typed in the keyword hometown, and this is called something hometown something. What is it? Hometown Street Life by Lobo Loco. So, thanks Lobos. Let's see what's trending on Twitter right now. Gold Star, #1. Oh, more sad things. Gold Star widows break silence over Trump's condolence call. How is that? How does he even make that news? You just call and say you're sorry. That's it. That's all you gotta say. That's it. You do not need to try to make a point. You don't need, even if the intention was well with your whole, like, I guess he said he signed up for this. Even if, like, you just kind of, like, I get it. I've heard people say, like, what the actual quote, like, what he was trying to say was, like, hey, like, your husband would, like, he was such a good guy. He's the guy who signed up for this. You know, he signed up to be a hero, and goddamn it, he is a hero. I get it. I'm not saying like Trump was trying to make her feel bad. I'm saying, why are you trying to say anything, dude? Just say you're sorry. That's it. Oh man, you know what? I think that's what the main problem in society is right now, and you can see it with the Weinstein stuff and shit. It's like, dude, stop talking. All right, stop talking. Just listen. That's all you got to do, man. That's why marriages fail. It's because people like dudes of the world just shut. Like, you don't have to try. Whenever your lady's crying, whenever something bad happened, 99% of the time they don't want your help, dude. No one wants your help. Just shh, listen. Just listen to the problem, and sometimes that is the help. Fucking. Why? Why are you trying to say anything? You suck at talking. Period. You were the worst. You wrote a book about how to make deals, and I honestly don't know if he can even, like... I couldn't imagine being in a conference room with that guy. Oh, God. Whatever. This isn't a political podcast. Why do I do this every week? Every week. Because every week, look, I'm going on Twitter right now, and give me one good story. Ooh, here's the one good story, and we'll finish with this. Fucking Dodgers, man. Hell yeah, dude. Dodgers. Oh, this is a great transition into the episode, because our guest, Bruce, who, by the way, Bruce, you can follow on all social media at Bruce Gray Comedy, BruceGray Comedy, and he's fucking hilarious. Definitely follow him. I think he's most active on Facebook. He hosts the weekly mic at the Ice House. He does shows all around. He's one of those guys. He's up in the valley because he's from Bakersfield, so he does a lot of the shows up there. Look him up. Go find him. He's fucking hilarious. And also, he used to be a bat boy for a minor league team up there. So he's a big Dodgers fan, and I'm happy to see Dodgers making it to the big game, World Series. It's going to be fucking awesome. Oh, look at that. I'm over my time. See? Wasting all my time talking about some bullshit. Dodgers fucking awesome. Fun team to watch. Obviously, I wanted to see... I hate the Yankees. It would have been cool to see LA versus New York, but you know what? If the Yankees would have made it in, Dodgers would have swept them in 4. It wouldn't have been a good series. Astros, on the other hand, amazing team. Fucking Verlander from Detroit getting his shot, finally getting out of there. He did his time in Detroit. Now he needed to be on a good team to actually make it to the big dance. He's there. It's going to be a great series. I'm calling it Dodgers in 6. I'm hoping for Dodgers in 6. Like, I don't even want to see a sweep. I want to see Dodgers in 6. That way they come back and win it here in LA. We'll have a good time. So, guys, that's the intro. Went over a little bit. Sorry I'm late. Try not to be late any other time. But you know what? You're getting this for free. All right? So shut up. Shut your dick. Or your lady part. All right. Bruce Gray. Bruce Gray. Funny comic. Young dude. Listen up.
Bakersfield, California.
What's up, dude? 661.
What's going on? Bakersfield, California. We're here with Bruce Gray, native of Bakersfield.
I'm the pride of Bakersfield, California. It's me, Kevin Harvick, and Cody Kessler.
Is Gabriel Iglesias, is he not
Gabriel
from there?
Iglesias? Yeah. No, a lot of people think that, but he just shot his first special there.
I saw that. And in doing my research, I didn't find anything that he was from there.
There's no comics there from there. Darren Carter is from like 60 miles north, but other than that, dude, he's the pride of the Central Valley. I'm trying to take the title from him. So Darren Carter, if you're listening, I'm fucking coming for you, dude.
Darren Carter, he is coming. All right, so Bakersfield, California, just right off the bat in 1873, Bakersfield officially incorporated as a city. It replaced the dying town of Havala. Do you know about Havala?
Havala? I don't know about Havala.
Yeah, well, that used to be the county seat. Alexander Mills was hired as the city marshal, a man one historian described as an old man by the time he became marshal of Bakersfield. and he walked with a cane. This sounds like an old. Sounds classic Western.
Anything you're like the picture in your mind right now should be "There Will Be Blood."
Oh yeah, no,
That's
1800s. Yeah, definitely. He was a Kentuckian handyman with a gun, and not lacking in initiative and resource when the mood moved him.
I drink our milkshake.
Yeah, businessmen and others began to resent Mills, who was cantankerous and high-handed in his treatment of them, wanting to fire him, but fearing reprisals. They came up with a scheme to disincorporate it. So it stopped being a city just so they could take away his employer, and it became a city again in 1898. So right off the bat, corruption in the government.
Big drama. Dude, it's still corrupt, dude. It's still a bad place.
Yep, that's what I found. I think anyone who lives in LA, you hear things about the outskirts of California, outskirts of LA, the Valley. Mm-hmm. And it's always the same joke, Bakersfield, that's where the meth is. And that's pretty much all you ever know about it.
It's a lot. There's so many others, like California is so similar to so many other states where it's like there's 3 big cities and the rest of it is fucking incredibly conservative.
Yeah.
Like wildly. Central California is like one of the most conservative areas in the entire country. And it's a bunch of fucking psychos.
It is. Bakersfield is so much worse than I thought.
I talk a lot of shit, but I defend Bakersfield to the death. I love it. But it has a lot of problems, but I'll forever fucking dude, I die, bleed Bakersfield blood, baby.
Hey, you know what? This podcast is not about attacking hometowns. It's just about looking at them and figuring out what it is. It's not this is not
I'm just automatically getting defensive.
No, I like that. I like hometown pride, and I just want to learn about it. That's all this is. This is all this is about. So, the original, it started right away and as a beat of corruption there. So we're going to do some just quick historical stuff about it. That was that. I'm going to edit this down.
Please don't. No, we should record 2 or 3 hours, and then you should edit it down to like 3 minutes.
So right away, that happens. This is also another thing about the town is the mayor, and this is what you told me about. You wanted me to check in on the mayor.
Ex-mayor now, but he's
ex-mayor. Yeah,
sketchy
he was
dude.
Mayor from 2000 all the way to 2017. His name?
Harvey J. Hall.
Harvey Hall, a cartoonish name.
Have you seen for a cartoonish looking man? He is 100%. He looks 100% like Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Imagine in your mind. A cartoon where there's a city and there's a mayor and the mayor's corrupt.
Dude,
what is he going to look like?
Exactly. Dude, one time me and my friend, another comic, we had just gotten back from a show from out of town and we were going to eat at a Jack in the Box and this dude cut us off all crazy. Like, cut us off and then I honked and he like slammed on his brakes in the middle of the road and like flipped us off. It was obviously fucking wasted. So I was like, dude, let's call the cops on this guy because he's a dick for one. So then we called the cops and told them, I was just like, hey, this guy's in the Jack in the Box drive-thru and he's wasted. And I just like parked in the corner of the parking lot. And at the end of the call, they were like, do you want to say who, do you want to put your name in? Do you want to be anonymous? I was like, yeah, this is Mayor Harvey Hall. And then I hung up and I'm not even fucking around. 2 minutes later, there was fucking 10 cop cars, a helicopter, like crazy stuff. They had guns drawn on this guy. And I don't know if it was because they found out he was like a criminal or if they really thought I was the mayor, but
Harvey Hall, lots about this guy. Now you told me about the controversy of the ambulances. So
yeah, Hall Ambulance, dude.
Yeah, so he is the owner and CEO, president of Hall Ambulance. It's a huge ambulance company. He owns a bunch of ambulance, and he also, being the mayor, was like, oh, you know what? We'll just have them be the city's.
Yeah, it's a
monopoly.
I don't know what the exact law is, but I think the law is like, if a company has like 95% or more of a certain business in an area, then it's considered like a monopoly, which is technically not legal. And he has like 94.9999% of like, it's insane.
It's what's even more insane is the man. He is beloved though.
Yeah, people really like him. And I mean, he's not a bad guy. I used to work at a restaurant he'd come into. He tips very fucking well. He the baseball team I used to work for, he gives the players $50 per home run for the minor league team I worked for. Like, he's a cool dude. He's just sketchy and like has done a lot of weird. A lot of weird stuff going on with him.
Other than a couple videos about the ambulance problem, I couldn't find anything online of people not liking him. However, when you are the mayor of a town with the deadliest police force in the country,
please kill people.
We'll get there. And you dress like every villain in every old 70s cartoon.
He's extremely villainous.
I mean, let's just take a look for a second. Oh, no.
Joe goes, let's take a look for a second. And then he clicks over the TV. And I was like, this guy really has it together. It seemed like it was going to work out flawlessly. And he had to click through a bunch of shit.
Well, never mind. It's playing.
I fucking love this. Are you trying to play the video of him giving Derek Carr the key to the city?
No, I'm trying to play.
Me and
there
you,
is
Derek.
a video online, and it's just all about Bakersfield's mayor's suits.
Oh, all about his suits?
Yeah.
It's slow news day a lot around Bakersfield, dude. Look at
He's,
Look at
he's
his
wearing
ass.
a pink suit with a pink tie
He is.
and a pink shirt.
Man.
This is about him. He's collecting art from the local artists around town.
Did your noise removal cut this out?
Yeah, actually, will you turn it off? Every day, that's for me.
Every day.
Purple, black, blue, green, and yellow. The man's insane.
He was wearing a suit that looked like a John Deere tractor just now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whoa, dude! I never seen.
So much younger.
I never have seen the First Lady.
Isn't it always weird when an old man's younger hot wife is still like 50 years old?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this video is how it ends. It ends with a preview to his next suit.
Wow. This is the next suit.
He's looking through a fashion magazine. I should point out the fashion magazine is East Bay Magazine.
We can also look at like bats and stuff.
There it is.
Oh, that's the next. So what's next?
They're
for
about to
Harvey?
drop the next suit.
It says, "What's next for Harvey Hall?" This suit right here. That's fucking great.
Oh my god.
I feel like there's some other weird stuff he's done before in the past, but I mean, he's not married anymore. Now it's an Asian lady.
Mm-hmm. How did that go over there? Because is she a conservative? Because
I'm pretty sure that
she must be.
Is pretty conservative because a lot of these like annoying people that I went to high school with are like these like annoying like young Republican people are like working for her campaign.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'll like it. You know, even his Wikipedia page, very beloved. You couldn't find anything negative. I mean, also,
It might be scrubbed, dude.
It very well could be. You know, he has a lot of. It's funny. You know, the most powerful people in the country tend to be mayors of towns that people just don't think about.
Yeah, it was the type of thing too where he could have fucking been mayor forever if he wanted to. He just stepped down.
It's almost like little mini dictatorships.
Yeah. Well, there was never anything where he was like gonna have to resign or anything.
Right.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe he because if he would have stayed on with all the weird police shit that's happening there, maybe there would have been some shit popping off. But
and since we brought it up, let's move on to that. The weird police shit. The Bakersfield Police, named by the Guardian magazine as
that's British, so you can trust it.
Yeah, as the deadliest police force. Not only Bakersfield Police Department, but also Kern County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, it's like deadliest per capita. I mean,
number 1 and 2.
They're the number 1 and 2. I mean, they kill the most people like per 100,000 or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a list right here. It's like taser, but 8 people died at the hands of them between 2005. Actually 9, because one just 7 months ago was actually an 80-year-old man.
Oh yeah, they're carrying the crucifix.
Yeah,
I know the guy who.
So wait. So he was being stopped. They thought he was someone else, and then he had his hands in his pocket and he was having a crucifix. They thought it was a gun. Shot him right there.
No, what happened was he's just an old Mexican dude with dementia who's walking around like his neighborhood. And like somebody called and was like, "This guy's trying to fucking break into houses or something." And then the cops came and had a crucifix, or he had a crucifix in his hand. And they shot him. But I know the wife or girlfriend of the dude who shot him.
Really?
Yeah. So it's honestly, it's The issue is that it's fucking kids my age with fucking guns, dude. Like, I could no problem be a cop in Bakersfield if I wanted to. Like, it's so fucking crazy. How many of these people that I went to high school with and like grew up with that are some of the dumbest, craziest, most racist people I've ever met. That
I mean, isn't that every town though? Like, I mean, obviously in big cities like LA, New York, I mean, the police force is more like a military, right? Like it's like a total, like, because there's so many people. But in the town you go to, it's like no one's gonna move to Bakersfield to be a cop.
It's fucking kids, dude. It's fucking like children,
and you don't have to go to college to be a cop. You just know. So
there's like posting. They would post signs all over town like BPD needs officers, and so it's like you just drive by and see that sign. You're like,
and it's a government job, so it pays good. You get a good,
crazy. But even like, there's a dude who's like his son, the son of like the police chief was like this dude that I went to high school with that was like big time party dude and like sold every drug ever and is now like a cop who's gonna move up through the ranks extremely fast.
And it seems like seems like it's like pretty like there's not even a question about it. This is a corrupt police force.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also, I mean, not just killing people. There's also like people getting caught stealing and reselling drugs. There's like, if you Googled like Kern County Sheriff, his last name's August. I mean, he's a few years older than me. He's friends with a lot of people I know, but he's a fucking piece of shit. He's a bad motherfucking person. I hope he dies. He's like
how they've like. Is he the guy?
He's going to jail. He's like him and another Kern County Sheriff just put it, or like two younger dudes just put in a plea deal, but where they were like, because they robbed people that I know of like dudes that like own weed shops of like money and weed and like resold it. Because there was another BPD officer who got in trouble last year, 2 years ago, for like big time shit. And as soon as that guy got caught, the two guys that just got in trouble both resigned, like, and quit and went and did other shit. And like one of these dudes opened a CrossFit gym and like he tries to be like, it's so, dude, his Facebook is the most painful shit. Because like after he got caught, he posted this video with him and his wife, and he's like, I'm so sorry to my brothers of the badge. The devil had got a whole... He basically blames his whole situation on the devil. He's like, the devil got me. And it's insane. I reposted it on Facebook, and I was like, this is a fucking sad boy.
What was this? Do you know about the story about basically the police force helping the KKK in Bakersfield? Because KKK is actually a pretty big... And, well, online, it seems like some people are calling it KKK. It makes more sense that it would be like Aryan Nation. It's a big territory of this. Pretty recently, actually. I can't find it right in front of me, but basically, like the police force, they had some people in it that was part of it, and then also like it was kind of like they could do their meetings. They weren't going to mess with them. A lot of white supremacy. That's the part of Bakersfield I didn't realize. I always thought, meth country. I grew up in meth country in Tennessee. So people always give it shit, but it's always like just a blanket statement. Oh, there's nothing to do, so there's meth. So I always thought it was like that. I didn't realize Bakersfield's got such a like hardcore. Have you heard of this group called Prussian Blue?
Prussian Blue? No, not as much as like Oildale Peckerwood or like any. There's like a few other of just like white power gangs, but really it's.
Well, Prussian Blue is actually a white nationalist pop preteen group.
Oh, Precious Blue. Is it the two? Yeah. I was thinking it was a gang, but no, it's the two blonde girls with the shirts with the Hitler mustache.
Yeah,
dude.
So
I think I don't know Prussian Blue, baby.
Were you in high school when they got big? Because they were active 2003 to 2007.
Yeah, I was super young.
Okay.
But whenever they were a big deal, because I remember they were going to play at the fair or something. I remember this being a big deal, but I was kind of
play at the fair.
I swear to God, I'm not even fucking around. I'm pretty sure I remember this. I remember the story, and I just read about it recently again. But
they were fraternal twins born in 92 in Bakersfield. The twins referred to the Holocaust as a myth, and their group was described as racist and white supremacists. Lynx, that's one of them, and Lamb, that's their names. Yeah. They were 14 when they decided they wanted to cease touring. So they were like they toured around.
Yeah, well, they probably got to be 14. They're like, oh, this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, actually, they did. They got to it, and in fact, now they in a recent interview they said they have much more liberal views.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty funny, but they got big, and a Vice interviewed them, and they were just a huge.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing, but
child stars is like racist. It's so crazy.
Child stars. But what's big in Bakersfield is there's not as much of the organized white supremacism type deal that you would think, where really it's just kind of like basic all around bigotry. But it's really it's so.
Well, that's everywhere.
Yeah, no, totally. But
Yeah.
it's like it's so. Everything is kind of so separated in a sense, like the meth and like there's like different areas of Bakersfield where there's like Oildale, there's Rosedale, there's Greenfield, there's like the Southwest, the East Side. There's like all these different areas that are different things. Like Oildale is like the fucking meth, white power, like all like one of the worst. It's the worst area of town pretty much, and it's just like complete fucking garbage.
That's something about oil towns. Any that's in Texas, and then now up in the pipeline areas, up in like the Dakotas. I think it's because it just attracts people like from all over the country. Though none of those people are even from there. It's like it's just dudes that like that's an easy job. Anyone can get that job. Well, not an easy. It's a very hard job.
80 years ago, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
it's all fucking Okie Bowl settlers, really. Or Okie Bowl, Dust Bowl settlers. Okie Bowl is the racetrack in Bakersfield. It's like a fucking third mile dirt track. But it's all like Dust Bowl, like not Dust Bowl settlers themselves. Now they're all fucking old, but it's like all of their kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's because I mean even like
it's happening in Dakota now.
Yeah, same thing. But it's like even my grandparents and shit are like the same thing.
Because it's a really hard job. I shouldn't have said easy. It's a very like hard manual labor job, but they'll give it to anyone willing to do it for really good money. And then so just like people who can't get a job.
I didn't even think that I wrote anything about this, but that's what's crazy about Bakersfield is I mean I'm not sure what the percentage is now, but a few years ago, it's 70+% of people have jobs through energy there. But now U.S. oil is so diminished, and it's not. It's like
most
inactive.
of the jobs now in Bakersfield are number one is the city, but that's usually anywhere.
This is brand new. I haven't read any of this. Go
on. Most of the jobs are through Bolthouse Farms, which makes those shakes, and then another farms, Grimway. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
because that's what it is too. There's like a bunch of those really big ones, like, and that's what there's so many fucking rich kids that like. Because where I went to high school in Rosedale is like one of like it's like basically like the rich area of town. Because it's kind of
that's where you went.
Yeah, but that's where because I grew up until I was in 5th grade in Greenfield, which is like migrant, like really a lot of like farm area. Because I went to an elementary school where it was like because it was originally where we lived until I was in 5th grade was where my dad had basically bought a house from his stepdad, like where he grew up, which is basically like in the middle of all this farmland and shit. And so this elementary school that I went to was like all. Like not all, but there was like special segments where there was these magnet programs, but it was magnet program for like migrant students. Like my mom taught that shit. So like migrant students that would come in with their parents who are farm workers, that's like they're gonna be here anywhere from like a week to 3 months. So it's like we have to try to teach them English and shit like ASAP. But it's crazy because I feel like it's so weirdly secluded. All the shit where it's like the Rosedale area where it's like all these rich kids where it's like their parents. Either
own the farms,
the parents. There's so many people like
there's a lot of land. It's a huge place.
It's Central Valley, especially like San Joaquin Valley is like some almost fucking all of the agriculture in America.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's really insane, and it's like
apparently if you go, especially carrots, any bag of carrots you buy in a store, it's gonna say Bakersfield, California.
What it'll say is there's Bakersfield, and then because the Bakersfield has like 400,000 people, and then there's Bakersfield metropolitan area, which has like 1 million because it's fucking. There's like Lamont, Arvin, Shafter, Wasco, all these different places that are around it. Where that's where it's going to say all the fruits are from. Because almost none of the places will say Bakersfield, but it'll say all those different places around there. Because basically Greenfield is basically Lamont, which is like those are like hardcore Latino like dirt road communities, like fucking a lot of like farm labor and stuff.
Where I got a lot of information from, and we can move into this, is actually interviews with the Mormon kids that like came to Bakersfield and like to do and apparently there's a huge Mormon. Did you know a lot of Mormons growing up?
Not a lot, but it's so weird because it's
probably the rich ones that own the
land.
land.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of. I definitely knew quite a few Mormons, but there's so many. It's so surprising. Bakersfield is surprisingly big, where there's so many communities of like. There's a big Mormon community, but also there's like a big Sikh community. There's a big like Italian Basque community. Like there's so much weird shit.
That was surprising me. There is a big Sikh community.
Yeah, huge.
And that was another one of the things that like some Sikh kid got like almost killed. Like got the crap beat out of him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that happened to a dude recently too, outside of like Habit Burger, and there's like been a bunch of that shit since Trump, where it's like
Poor Sikhs.
yeah, and people are so dumb, and they have no idea that it's like
Well, it's just because the Sikhs they dress the way like cartoons have always
Yeah, and,
depicted
like-
everyone in the Middle East.
Like, if you're dumb and you see a Sikh, you're like, fucking Arab.
Yeah.
And it's like, that guy's fucking ISIS, dude. Like,
there's
the-
such
the
a
thought
small
pro-
community.
the
Yeah.
thought process of if you just dumb yourself down to that, it like totally makes sense. You're like, I hate ISIS. That guy pretty much seems like ISIS.
He
so I'm
looks
gonna-
like the cartoon
Yeah,
character
dude,
of everyone.
dude, seriously,
It
it's-
would be like if there's a small group of Asians that actually wear the Asian farmer
Big, like,
hat.
rice hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
they dress like fucking Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Like that's exactly. It's super stereotypical, but it's like it's the complete opposite. And people, there's a lot of that shit too. But it's like,
But it also seems really nice. You know what I noticed from looking at, and obviously I got this from looking at a lot of the real estate videos.
like drone shots and stuff.
Drone shots.
Yeah, crazy.
What it looked like to me was like just another Palm Springs.
Yeah,
It's like it seems like there's some really nice parts of it.
there's crazy nice part. I mean, there's like legit billionaires that live. Maybe not like wild. Maybe billionaires is pushing it. But there's like people. I know people who fucking drive Bugattis and shit and like have like large amounts of money.
The agriculture.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying.
I
Earlier.
mean, there's a lot of money.
Is
there.
there's people's grant like you'll just like so many people will just be loaded. Like I knew dozens and dozens of kids because I in 5th grade was whenever I moved to Rosedale, and then like the high school I went to, there's like Liberty and Frontier, and Frontier is like richer, and there's like it's newer and it's like closer to all the farm shit, so it's like wildly rich kids, but Liberty's like the same thing, and so like so many of those kids that are fucking driving just insanely nice cars and like.
So we talked about the crummy stuff about it. Obviously, the police, I mean, anyone listening to this, you should go read the Guardian articles. It's insane. Like it's
really it is crazy.
I mean, it really is like a gang.
No,
it's
it
straight
is
up like I mean, they're just a gang that gets away with stuff. Which I know that's a lot of police forces.
But it's crazy because it is so bad, but it's so conservative that like there's still so many people that are like no matter what the cops do in Bakersfield, there's still going to be a great amount of people that are fucking like Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Trust the cops no matter what. Like people are fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. So that which makes the mayor even more cartoonish. Like,
Yeah.
It's just so funny to me. Like what's the Dukes of Hazzard mayor?
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Bob Hogg something.
Boss
I don't know.
Hogg?
Boss Hogg or something like that.
Fuck, I can't think.
It totally is like that. So we talked about the bad stuff. Let's talk about some of the culture of Bakersfield because I feel like like I said, like I feel like Bakersfield is just kind of like a punchline to like, oh, you don't want to get out too far outside LA. You end up in Bakersfield.
Well, it is. I mean, it's fucking brutal. It's hot. What really is bad,
hot indeed. Average 101 in July.
Yeah, it's
average.
Brutal. Yeah,
that's insane. That means it's oftentimes way above that.
It's fucked up, dude.
That's insane.
What really could fucking help is that because the freeway that goes through there is the 99, and it like goes through all of Central California, but all the way through Bakersfield, it goes through the fucking shittiest area, and it's like it's all just the fucking backs of these gray buildings and like all this shit, and it makes Bakersfield look fucking garbage, and it's just not maintained on the side of the freeway, and it's like, dude, you can make it look so much nicer, but there is a surprising amount of like cultural stuff because where I worked at the Crystal Palace, which is Buck Owens' restaurant, before like he owned and like maintained before he died, and it's like Bakersfield sound music, like that's fucking basically before like the quote unquote Bakersfield sound, basically before Buck Owens started creating music. Country music was made to like sit in a chair and listen to and fucking fuck to and stuff, but like Buck Owens and like his band, like Don Rich, fucking
Dwight Yoakam, Merle Haggard. These are all Bakersfield natives.
Well, yeah, but Buck Owens fucked over like a bunch of people, but he like he basically created country music that was made to dance to and like made to fucking not just sit in a chair and listen to.
It was and I'm from outside Nashville, so I know all about this. Is the Bakersfield sound is basically the sound of the electric guitar getting in there.
It's a lot of picking, and like Don Rich, the dude who played guitar for him, like if you go back and watch these live Buck Owens videos of like where he's playing on the Buck Owens show, in watching Don Rich play, the dude who's playing guitar, he is so fucking rad.
Yeah.
Like I've seen all those videos, but he's insanely talented.
It was during Merle Haggard's time. That was like Merle, whenever people say, "Oh, I like that old country," they're usually talking about this, like the late '60s, all through the '70s, early '80s, where it was just Merle Haggard bringing the sounds of Bakersfield. You had Willie Nelson with the sounds of like Austin. Chris Christopherson writing a lot of the stuff. It was just that like great. It was songs for oil guys.
No, for real. It
That's
really
exactly
was.
what
It was like legit, like fucking legitimately blue collar.
Totally.
music.
It was songs for like dudes who just, I don't care how hard the job is. I'll just go do it.
Well, it's all just dudes who have it's made for dudes with 15 kids that have to work 100 million hours a week, or else the whole family will die.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of, because Buck Owens Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, they're a lot older than Dwight Yoakam, but they are both from Bakersfield. And Dwight Yoakam just kind of attached himself to the scene, and Buck Owens helped him out a lot. Like
Dwight Yoakam was one of those guys that came after that kept that sound.
Yeah.
Now the same thing is that sound kind of the '80s with country music in the '80s is when it started to go to shit. It started to really get that poppy sound, that Alan Jackson, Tim McGraw, but that actually took a lot from that guitar sound. They wanted to mix everything together into
Well, it's a lot of that too, like, because I mean, Dwight Yoakam and Garth Brooks especially they're both like, Buck Owens hooked them up. Same with what's his name, Brad Paisley, and like dudes like that, he hooked them up big time. But it's like
it's funny, like anytime something like that happens in music, where like this new sounds, it sounds amazing, you're gonna have a good like decade of good quality music from it, and then the stuff that once it gets too popular, it's just gonna become the reason country sucks. So it's like that was like that Bakersfield sound, like it both helped country and evolved it, and then eventually destroyed it.
Well, that's the same thing that's happening with hip hop right now. It's like in 2012 when drill music was big, like Chief Keef and people that are coming out of Chicago that are like great, like legitimate people that are fucking shooting people every day, rapping like pretty much mumble rap. That's what it turned into and ruined it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the second time around for hip hop, because like when the whole time I was in high school and college, that's when people thought hip hop was going to die. 2000 to 2009, it was basically just all Yin Yang Twins and Lil Jon.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, hip hop's going the way of disco. And then you had people like, Kanye got big again, and then like I think Kendrick Lamar really came in and really saved the day. So
before I forget about this what was cool about working, because I worked at the Buck Owens restaurant, but it's like more of a music venue. It's like seats like 700 people. And so it was cool. So all these people would be always coming in. And like so many of these people knew so much about those people. And Buck Owens, great musician, fucking smart dude, died fucking worth $350 million. Like,
wow, I would not have guessed that much.
He's, crazy. Sold all, because he owned owned a radio station in Phoenix, owned like.
He also wrote a lot of music too.
He wrote
people always forget about it, especially in country. People always forget the songwriters were
Buck
kings.
Owens, great musician, great businessman, one of the most legendary pieces of shit of all time.
Oh, really?
Terrible person.
Did you ever know him at all?
No, he died. He died when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I think, and I didn't work there till I was like fucking 19, 18.
Wow, what kind of stories did you hear about him?
Well, dude, there's a whole book just came out about him, like extra positive, like Buck Owens fucking ruled, because there's another book that came out. This is a really good read. I don't know what it's called, but anybody can Google this negative aspect Buck Owens book, and it's all this crazy shit where he would like start these families but not marry chicks and like have kids with them, and then one day he would just be like, all right, well, I'll see ya, and then just fucking bounce. That plus, I mean, he fucked over so many people. Like, do you know who Red Simpson is? Red Simpson's a musician from Bakersfield. He wrote an insane amount of music. He just died, but he fucked over Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard was a legit fucking criminal. So
yeah,
he came to Buck Owens one time because they're friends, and Buck's like has a bunch of money, and he's like, hey, I owe these guys a bunch of money or something of this nature. Like, I owe these guys money. I'm doing this, doing that. And he's like, all right, instead of me just giving you $15,000, I'll just buy the rights to the. It's like right whenever Merle Haggard's first single is kind of like popping up. He's like, I'll just buy the rights to that song from you for $15,000.
Okie from Muskogee, probably.
I don't remember what exact song it was, but
single.
it was. He's like, I'll just buy the rights from that song to you flat out, and that'll be I'll own that song completely. And Merle Haggard's like, yeah, totally. And then that song makes like fucking $10 million. What
did you say it was called? Okie Bowl? Is that what the oil section of your town?
Oildale.
Oil. Oh, okay.
But it's weird because there's not even oil there. It's just a bad area. In Bakersfield, like Bakersfield proper, really, there's not really as much oil drilling specifically. I mean, that's where all the companies are really based. But it's really like Taft Midway, which is like Elk Hills, and like basically There Will Be Blood area is where it's like 20 miles outside Bakersfield. There's fucking hundreds and hundreds of square miles of oil fields out there.
So Buck Owens was probably like the big. He's
the
all of them. He was the guy that like
Totally.
was the leader of that Bakersfield sound.
He created it completely.
So he had that restaurant and venue. When did you work there?
Until I moved here, from the time it was probably 2000.
No, I mean, but like age.
Oh, I was 19. Until I was 19 till I was 22.
So that was your
18 maybe.
Was that your first job?
No, my first job. I worked at Chick-fil-A, and then I worked at a minor league baseball team, Bakersfield Blaze. Shouts out fucking Billy Hamilton and
Billy Hamilton of the Reds.
Yeah, it was the Reds.
Nice.
It was the Reds thing. Billy Hamilton, great guy. What else, dude? I worked there, and then the Crystal Palace.
Nice.
Actually, a Famous Dave's in there too. Get some Famous Dave's popping.
So it was a venue, and is that when you started getting into performing? Is that where you
No,
saw performance?
I had done. I started stand-up when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already worked there, but it was cool because I got to introduce some bands there in front of like quite a bit of people, like probably still more people than I've ever performed stand-up in front of. So I got to like introduce bands in front of a fuckload of people, and no, but it was popping. It was really cool because I got to serve a bunch of people, like especially, and it got me a lot of connections with like the news and like the newspaper and stuff, and like in Bakersfield, and like meeting a lot of those people and getting them to like produce articles about stand-up and stuff in town. So it's fucking sweet.
So you started stand-up at 18. Were you still in high school?
No, whenever I graduated high school, I moved to Santa Barbara for like 8 months, and then I moved back and started stand-up like immediately. So I started stand-up like 3 months before I turned, maybe 2 months before I turned 19.
Right after you graduated.
Yeah.
So like Liberty High School, that's the high school you went to, the Patriots, right? Mm-hmm. Interesting thing about this, you could be the first person of note from Liberty High School. I could find no one of notoriety.
Nobody listed. There's Colton Schmidt. There's Matt Darr, both NFL punters.
Oh, really?
Matt Darr went to a different school. Who else, dude? There's a few people.
I couldn't find anything. I could find some football players that went to college.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Who's the most notable football player that went to college?
I couldn't. I was just looking online.
Basically,
people putting their their reels online.
Yeah, there is a lot. What's crazy is Bakersfield is home of the burnout. You know what I'm saying? There's. I mean, I'm even fucking me specifically. Like I would like.
And that's not Bakersfield all around. I mean, there's some pretty heavy hitters coming out of Bakersfield. I'm just talking about your high school.
Swift.
I mean,
we
got
Robert Swift, Bakersfield, from
your
is Bakersfield. No, I mean, not Liberty.
David Carr, Derek Carr.
Yeah,
they're out of Bakersfield.
They're not from either of those. I was thinking Bakersfield for some reason, but I mean, there are so many people that are like high school, like supposed to be like the next fucking thing, like that are supposed to be huge. Like there's this guy that Cody Kessler is obviously the quarterback for the Browns. Yeah. Say it on air. Legendary piece of shit. Very bad person. Cody, I hope you're listening. You're a coward for blocking me on Twitter. I just called him a chump too many times, and so he blocked me on Twitter. But there's so many, like, I played football against him like fucking 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
You played for Liberty High School?
No, I didn't play in high school. But 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I played he was like our rival team. And he was like so good always growing up at quarterback that his family basically adopted this kid who's a year older than us named Alfonso Jackson. I'll try to, after this, I'll pull up his highlights from his sophomore year at BHS, Bakersfield High School, running like a fucking freight train. So he was like basically like a rich white, basically like a blindside situation because this kid is so good at football.
Happens more than people think.
Dude, and it's like, incredible. Like after, like you gotta watch his highlight. It's like the Reggie Bush highlight tape. Me and Brian were watching this shit the other day. Like this is incredible, and it's like, who knows where that dude is now?
Yeah,
and there's so much of that shit.
This is good news though. There's no one of notoriety coming out of Liberty High School.
I mean,
this
there's
could be
definitely
you. There could be a Wikipedia section at the bottom.
Yeah,
Bruce Gray.
No, he didn't go to my high school. A guy I've met him a few times. I did a few open mics with him. This guy's name is Zakari. He was just featured on the Kendrick album, but he went to Centennial, which is like the high school next to mine.
Liberty High School.
Dude.
So how was high school? Did you enjoy it there? What was Liberty High School in relative to the other high schools? Was it the nice one? Was it the Middle of the road.
It's a nice one. Liberty, Frontier, and there's like Liberty, Frontier, Stockdale are like the three nice ones. Stockdale is like more like it's weird because some of the it's like I don't know, all three of those are like quote unquote rich kid schools.
Oh, really?
But
it was on 925 Jewetta Avenue.
Jewetta and Brimhall, baby. Forever. No, I mean it was cool. I had a cool high school experience. Like I didn't play sport. Like for not really, I played sports until like I played my freshman year in baseball and stuff. But like for not playing sports or anything, I was pretty relatively cool. I was friends with a lot of people. But it was cool. I mean, there was a lot of people had it way worse than me, man. A lot of people got shit fucking.
When did you graduate?
2011.
2011. So you've been out in 6 years. Any anything crazy happen in high school? What's the craziest thing that happened
in high school to me?
Yeah. And at your high school.
At my high school,
what's the kind of shit that goes down there?
It was surprisingly low key. What happened, dude? Some shit went down. I'm trying to think of.
Were drugs pretty heavy in high school?
Well, it's yeah. Well, there's a lot of absentee parenting where it's like parents who were fucking loaded. A lot of kids whose parents had a lot of money were doing a lot of crazy shit and a lot of fucking drugs and all kinds of shit.
Was meth big in your high school?
Meth is not at all. It's heroin was heroin. Meth was. That's what is so weird about meth is that it's such
the lower income.
It's all lower income.
I went to a meth high school. Like I went to a school where like freshman year we had like it was small. Like we had like 120 people in my class, and by senior year it was like 70, and it was like some of those people were like unrecognizable.
Yeah,
you know,
there was a lot of that. I mean, I'm a lot of kids from not a lot, but quite a few kids from my high school like overdosed on heroin after high school and stuff. But I mean, my graduating class probably had at least 500 people.
That's crazy.
I would definitely say
also a different time. I feel like heroin's taken over meth as far as like the drug of choice, just because.
But it's meth in Oildale, like that secluded area of town. There is a lot of meth, a crazy amount of meth. But it's huge. And I mean, that's what you see a lot too. Is that there's such a difference between the homeless people in LA and the homeless people in Bakersfield. Because the homeless people in LA, most of them are completely psycho and mentally ill.
Yeah, they're crazy.
And
people.
Almost 90% of the homeless people in Bakersfield are completely able-bodied. Like, completely could be doing anything they want to, but they just are fucking twacked the fuck out. And like you see that a lot. And it's like, I mean, you see, I've like people from my high school I've seen like, you know, fucking twacked out, pushing a shopping cart down the road. And you see the progression of people too, where it's like, I see a dude that I have just seen around, be like, oh, that guy, I see him hanging out behind Little Caesars. He probably sleeps there now. And then also like, a year later, you see him pushing a shopping cart down the road, and his skin is the color of this table.
It's so crazy. It's you know, when drugs take over a town, it's weird. And Bakersfield's also known as like a place where, like I think Hell's Angels goes through there. It's more Northern California, but there's like there's a biker like trail that goes through there. So there's they bring the meth, or they used to bring the meth. Like I said, meth is kind of gone away as the drug of choice of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend. He doesn't really do it anymore. He kind of moved now, but he was like doing in like Devil's Disciples and like was pretty deep in that.
Yeah, Hell's Angels is like the go-to, but there's many of them.
There's quite a lot of biker activity. It's weird because it's such a big place that there is such a little bit of everything. Like there's anything. Like there's so many. I mean, there's large pockets of everything completely. Like, it's really fucking weird.
Yeah. Okay, so after high school, you didn't go to college, did you? Did you go to college?
No, well, I went to community college.
Did you go to the community college?
No, I went to BC for one semester, but it's shitty. I went to Taft College, which is like where basically near where all the oil fields are and stuff. It's like 25 miles away. Taft is basically where there will be bloods based.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know
Little
that.
Boston, pretty much.
I saw that, you know, they have California State University, Bakersfield. Is that like, because it's funny, Bakersfield's a pretty conservative place. Where my college was at, Middle Tennessee State, we were in a place that was pretty conservative, but then there creates like this like liberal college-y section. Is it a college town?
No, not at all. It's the college is mostly local.
Oh, really? Everyone's local that goes there?
There's no football. And there's not everybody's local, but I would say it's definitely more than 50% is local. But there is downtown. There's like a weird downtown Bakersfield is like a surprisingly like artsy district. So there's quite there's a multiple like super hipster bougie coffee shops and like places. So downtown is like a super liberal like kind of pocket. But at the same time, on weekends it turns into a fucking.
They have a good basketball team, don't they?
CSUB, yeah, they went to they got pretty far in the NIT last year.
Yeah,
but they just the CSUB sports just became D1 like not even 5 years ago.
Yeah, they were D2 champions many times in the 90s, 3 times in the 90s.
Basketball in the 90s was good. We used to always go to games back in the day.
Speaking of games, Bakersfield seems to be the best place for minor league sports. It seems like such a fun minor league hockey and minor league baseball, which you work for.
Minor league hockey there just went AHL. Condors are extremely popular, but
they're old Condors. So they were the Condors, and starting in the 80s all the way through 2 years ago.
They were like there was a team. They were the Condors, and they were the Bakersfield Fog.
Well, yeah, that was just 1 year.
Yeah, there were a few different weird things, but they've been the Condors for a while.
And they were the Condors, the Fog and the Condors up until 2 years ago, as the affiliate for Anaheim, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it was for Anaheim, which I assume made a lot of people Anaheim Ducks fans where you were from.
Because I think it was ECHL, which might just be independent. I don't know if it's affiliated or not.
No, it's affiliate. They're used as affiliates. And then they moved to Norfolk and became the Predators affiliates as the Norfolk Admirals. But they kept the name Condors.
Yeah, there's like a big vote for the thing.
Yeah, they're still the Condors, and now they're working with the Oilers in Edmonton.
Yeah, it was going to be like Bakersfield Oil Barons or something ridiculous, but they kept it. No, what's crazy is, 2 years ago, there was also a D League. Until last year, there was a D League team. There's been
hockey or
basketball.
Oh, basketball.
NBA D League. But the minor league baseball team's gone too, which is crazy. It was the Bakersfield Blaze, it was like Bakersfield Dodgers and Samlin Ballpark, which is the state, like the minor league stadium there. It's like 100 years old, and it's big thing because it's like the ultimate minor league stadium. Like it's built.
I was gonna say, yeah, it seems like
it's the ultimate. It's like built facing the wrong way, so like there's a huge batter's eye, and the sun. You have to wait for the sun to go down for games to start. The walls.
The train go through the outfield. Like
pretty much, right on the. There's a river, and then on the other side there's a fucking train. There's homeless people living behind it. There's it's such a quirky place, and there's the wall. It's such a crazy field because I worked there for 5 years. Talking to other people, it's such a weird field, and it's like 330 in left, 330 in right, 354 in center with a 15 to 20 foot wall all around. And so people are always like, it's such a small field, but it plays insanely weird. And it's hard.
Was it pretty popular? People show up to the games a lot?
No? It was because I've gone through and looked at attendance, and it diminished in popularity. It was kind of picked up and fell down what was happening was in 2014, 2013, that whole time there was the whole thing of we're going to build a new stadium. They were going to build a new stadium because the stadium is old and it's in Oildale pretty much. So it's in a terrible part of town. So nobody really wants to go there. So there's a nice area of town. They're trying to build this new stadium in Rosedale and build a whole marketplace with movie theaters and it's a bunch of surrounding nice neighborhoods where people could walk to the games, and there's a nice lawn and shit. And all this stuff is big plan for the stadium. This is whenever I was working there too. Big plans for the stadium. People, it's going to be paid half by investors, half by the city. It's going to be a huge thing. And then it just all the plans are set. They're clearing construction to build the new stadium. It's a huge fucking deal because it's been a fight with I've been in the room where they're arguing with the people from the Reds about we're basically don't leave us basically. Yeah. And because it was a Reds affiliate, and then it just kind of all fell apart. So it fell apart completely where the two owners were these two oil guys who had bought the team a few years before trying to build a new stadium, and they had a clause in their contract where if the stadium went through and didn't get built, then they relinquish ownership back to the old owner, who's not a local guy and owns 20 minor league teams, so he doesn't give a shit. So once ownership got sent back to that team, he was like, I don't care, we're just gonna move the team. And so this is the first year, and I would say I think it was something crazy 75 years that there's not professional baseball there, and it's super huge. And it was a big thing.
minor league sports in a town can always be pretty fun.
Dude,
like it's something because it's like it's professional athletes, but they're these are guys that you're gonna have to see around town that aren't really making much money, and it's like
for real.
So you really do get behind them. It's and it sounds like
that's what people never understood either. And what people didn't understand either is how good. Like, I know there's so many dudes, like even from the Reds, plus all the other teams that were coming in there that are fucking. I mean, Nolan Arenado was playing in that league for like 2 years. I'm like, I knew him. On
baseball's like that, man. Baseball is like you can be a no one. I mean, look at Rich Hill. He just signed a $20 million deal with
even
the Dodgers.
Jose Bautista.
Yeah, and like a year before last, so like right at a year and a half ago, he was making like $500 a week.
Dude, it's crazy. Well, what's so crazy is there's like so many people like that I knew on a first name basis from working there for so long that are fucking superstars now, and people don't.
That's how baseball is. It's crazy. Hockey's like that as well, and there's a good hockey team in Bakersfield.
What's crazy is that
the Condors.
People have always got behind the hockey team. In crazy like.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why, is because hockey's the best sport to watch live, hands down. And the thing about it is when it's amazing. Did you ever go to a Condors game?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It was amazing, right? Because the thing about hockey is like it's so intense, and I think minor league hockey is probably even more fun to watch live because you're right there. It's a small arena usually. I'll go watch local leagues like beer leagues, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the Bakersfield Condors had a lot of fun. Were you around March 12th, 2011 when they had the Charlie Sheen night?
I was around. I didn't go.
You didn't go?
But they do have a lot of... There has been a lot of weird shit where there's like the pot... There's that, where it's like a drug. You bring like there's that. They do a lot of shit. A lot of a few of my comic friends used to work there and like pitch some of these ideas. They
have so much fun doing it.
They had a Seinfeld night where they wore like Seinfeld jerseys and like all this. They do all kinds of shit. One really funny thing, my friends, because I used to get tickets all the time, they do a thing every year called the Teddy Bear Toss, which is super big, where it's like they donate fucking 20,000 teddy bears or some shit to like a local homeless shelter or something. And so after the first goal,
because that's what homeless people need.
It's what
I need food, not a stuffy.
They're just backing up a fucking dump truck, dude. No, there was like a thing. They do it every year where, like, after the Condors score the first goal, then you throw all the teddy bears onto the ice. And so I got two of my friends tickets because I couldn't go, and I didn't even like think to tell them about it. And so they were sitting like in the front row, pretty much like against the glass. And then after the Condors score a first goal, they like jump up and they're like, "Yeah!" And then all of a sudden they're getting fucking rained because they're in the front row in the glass. So people from the top are throwing teddy bears and not hitting. So they're like getting buried by teddy bears all of a sudden. They were like, dude, we were both so high and had no idea what was going on.
Amazing. Some of the stuff from the Charlie Sheen night. This was a huge deal.
I remember it. I don't remember any of the details.
So some of the things that you could do to get there. If you wore a fedora, you got in for $2.50, like $2.50 in. If you brought a clean drug test, you got free admission.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 2-for-1 Tiger Blood ices for the kids. The first 1,000 males will receive a Charlie Sheen mask.
That's fantastic.
On a stick. I think the best part was if you brought $2 million cash, the team is yours. You can buy the team. I don't know how no like oil baron didn't just say
it's funny
fuck it.
I know plenty of dudes who could have done that.
They must have just known that the team was not worth $2 million. So amazing. So local sports.
No, Bakersfield's popping, man. It's fucking. It's great.
So why'd you leave? I'm
sure I want to be a star, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I could have stayed and done comedy in Bakersfield, and like,
what would that have been like? That's the next question. What would it have been like if you stayed?
I would be hosting in fucking some really good show. My friend,
there's
Chris,
a good scene there.
But whenever I started comedy there, this is where I get into my my super chest pounding mode, where I say that I'm the godfather of Bakersfield comedy. But whenever I started comedy in Bakersfield, there was fucking nothing there's no open mics. There was like maybe one or two monthly shows that were fucking awful, really fucking bad. Now, I mean, there's at that time there's probably 6 comics, if that. And like by comics, I mean very loosely
people who comedy.
Do it twice a month, if that. And now there's fucking 4 with. I thought I was wearing an Oil City comedy shirt. There's like 3 or 4 weekly open mics. There's like 35, 40 comics. There's fucking whenever I lived there, we did a monthly show that was packed, 120 people, sold out every fucking month. Like, but if I would have stayed there, I would have just same thing, been producing monthly show. But my friend Chris, great comic, definitely best comic in the fucking
Chris
Flail, definitely best comic in the Central Valley, fucking hands down. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He hosts every show there because there's a brewery.
Oh, so he's still there.
Yeah, he's like he has like a job, but he's a great comic, great host, fucking hilarious, good dude. He there's a brewery there that does like one A-room show there every month. Like they have all kinds of people. I mean, David Tell is coming there. Like they have Jim Brewer the other day. That's where I've opened for like Tony Hinchcliffe there, Tim Meadows, a bunch of different people.
A lot of people go through there. It's funny. Bakersfield to me, as far as the entertainment goes, it seems like it's the place where everyone from the outskirts of like Central California, inland California, it's like the New York City of that.
Definitely.
Like people
really
come
is.
in to see towns.
Yeah, I mean,
see shows.
I mean, 9 Inch Nails. I don't listen to 9 Inch Nails, but they just played their first show, their first live show in
huge
like 3
metal
years.
scene there.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Korn's from there, right?
Yeah. There's a huge. I've had to talk with that too because there's a huge music scene still. There's like some like a lot because doing music, I would do a lot of music open mics whenever I lived there. So I know almost every musician. Like I'm really good friends with a lot of those guys.
What's an music open mic like in a place where metal's heavy? Do they just
No. It's mostly folk. It's mostly acoustic.
Like
it's almost always it's a lot less metal stuff there now. But there used to be big metal stuff because there's some pretty popular bands there. Like I have friends in a band called Mento Buru, but they do like pachanga, like I don't know if that's a good way to describe it. They're like fast paced, like Hispanic ska. I don't know exactly.
I thought you meant pachanga casino.
No, it's great music, but they play like a lot of like multiple shows a week and make a lot of money. But I've done podcasts with guys from there where as soon as Korn started getting big out of Bakersfield, then that's whenever like everybody was just trying to sound like Korn.
Yeah.
Like, do you know the band Edema?
Yeah.
Like they're the same thing from Bakersfield, but it's just like they're Korn.
Yeah.
They're Korn, the same thing.
That's so funny. So if you would have said, how far is Bakersfield away from here as far as driving goes?
Here specifically, fucking West Hollywood, probably like 2 hours.
2-hour drive. Yeah. So it's very feasible. People could be working there and working here at the same time.
Yeah, I know quite a few people who do.
Yeah, so if you would have stayed, you very well could have.
No, I used to come down here and do spots.
Nice.
I used to come down and do mics, especially.
That's another thing about it. It's close enough to LA to where, as far as entertainment goes, people could try to make it big there and here at the same time.
Yeah, totally. It wouldn't. Yeah, I totally could have done that, but it's such a like lame big fish small pond thing. Like if I really wanted that, I could have been that. I could have stayed there and have fucking all these old bitter comics hate me because I'd fucking run all the shows and mics and I'm 25 years younger than them. But
the last discussion question I always end with is any plans to go back?
Yeah, I'm going back tonight.
No, but
to live there, dude. I would love to. If I was really popping there, I would have no issue.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's what I mean. If I really could somehow manage that would be fantastic.
Hell yeah.
But
what would you like? Let's say you make it big. You're a touring comic. You're all the way now. You're 45 years old. You got so much money in the bank. You buying a house out there? You buying like a farm?
I would buy something definitely out there. There's some good, like, because I mean I know this rich dude who like bought like Buck Owens farm, and there's like a bunch of there's so much crazy farmland out there.
It's cheap too, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper than normal, but it's surprising. It's so weird. Like there are all these preconceived notions that even like that make sense to have about Bakersfield, but it's so like, because I mean. Yeah, it actually is. I mean, anything compared to here. Because my parents just sold their house, and it's like a pretty dope 4-bedroom house and like a nice track in Rosedale. I think they sold it for like $270.
Wow,
which isn't a lot, but I mean here that would be I feel like nothing.
Studio apartment.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Dude. No, it'd be cool. I would really love to live. If I had like a shitload of money and somewhere in the Central Coast for sure, like San Luis Obispo area.
Oh yeah,
that's fucking great. That's where it's really at. But
you got hometown pride. You'd go back.
I
do.
Dude, I mean,
you got friends there. You got family. Family been there for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's where your
grandparents settled there.
Yeah, well, my mom. Yeah, they're all.
Where were they from before?
My mom's parents. My grandma on my mom's side is from Oklahoma, and my grandpa's from Texas. Well, they're all like Dust Bowl people.
Okay, so they came from the previous oil
Basically,
place.
they came with like well, that's what it is too. What I was talking about, where it's like there's so much of that with people. Because I wrote a report about this in school. There it's like people that were treated like fucking second class type citizens whenever they came from Oklahoma or like wherever to Bakersfield, and it's like. They were treated like basically how Irish people were treated. Like even though you're like basically treated like
they were working, they were workers coming in, taking jobs,
and it's the same. It's not even a complete generation later, and it's like it's crazy how much it's the same exact thing.
People don't like it. People don't want to do a job, and they don't like it when people come in and take those jobs.
Dude, it's there's some Google it, people. Bakersfield, California. Also, fuck Robbie Bruins.
Who?
Is it some hipster comic who the other day
fuck Robbie.
The other day we were having a conversation and he was saying something and he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Bakersfield." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Where are you from?" He's like, "Oh, I'm from the Bay Area." And I was so close to I felt good. I held back. I was so close to snapping and be like, "You spineless motherfucker. You don't even have the pride to say where you're actually from. How would I choke the shit out of you?"
The Bay Area.
Yeah, I know. The Bay Area.
God. Not San Francisco, in other words.
Yeah, basically. Rich prick.
Best place to get something to eat in
Bakersfield? Man, this is tough. I would usually say Jay's Place, comfort food, soul food, but the owner just got shot and killed, so I don't know how the recipes are holding up. Salties, though, dude. Trust anything you've seen on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Is that Basque?
Barbecue.
Okay.
Or Wool Growers Basque. Fantastic.
I have no idea. I had no idea what Basque is. It's a type of food from outside of Spain, but apparently they have the same geology there.
It's from the mountains in between France and Spain. Yeah.
So, and I guess they have the same type of climate that you guys have.
Yeah. It's there's French Basque and Spanish Basque, but it's weird because it's such small, weird communities that don't like. There's no Basque restaurants at all in LA.
Yeah.
But I'm not smart enough to talk about Basque shit, but it's mainly just like a weird collection of like fried chicken and spaghetti and like a bunch of random ass foods. I don't know how to explain it.
All right, man. Well, we'll have to go get it sometime.
Dude, hell yeah. This was solid, dude. I had fun.
You got any shows coming up you want to plug?
Fuck, dude. Not that I can think of.
I'm just starting. Podcasts you need to plug?
Dude, listen to Friends Forever podcast every week. And I'm doing now that I'm moving around again, my foot was broken. I can fucking move. I'm getting more shows in the books. There's a new Friends Forever podcast every single Tuesday. New sketches that I'm doing twice a month or so.
That's with
old Tyler Gizar.
Tyler Gizar.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking popping. It's lit.
He's asleep on the couch and he just woke up.
I just woke up when he heard his name. Now he's editing diligently.
All right, man.
Dude, thank you so much. This
Bakersfield, California. Dude, actually a nice place.
661 till I die. Sun, fun, stay, play.